Hi, it's Susan Howell, the Money Maestra, and I am here with Jade Devine as part of my financial speaker series. Jade is a friend of mine, and I met Jade because she is one of the trainers at the gym where I work out. But Jade is a lot more than a personal trainer, although she's an excellent trainer and highly motivating and inspirational. But Jade also owns her own business, Devine Nectar, which is a fresh juice company. And I've had the juices. They taste delicious and they're just good for you. You know it when you're drinking it that Jade's juices in Devine Nectar are just like they're healthy, they're green juices, they're fruit juices. She can tell you more. I'm going to turn it over to Jade before we start our Q&A to just have Jade tell you a little bit more about herself.
Thank you, Susan, for the introduction. I'm super excited to be here and to have this intro for your upcoming workshop. My name is Jade Devine, and I am the creator of Devine Nectar, a local fresh pressed juice business. I'm also a trainer and an SRT professional. I do wear many hats. I got into juicing through my own personal journey of health and fitness and have found a niche in the community where people needed some inspiration as well as some backing on how to live their day with healthy habits. And juice is able to fit in the morning. So it's just grab and go, and you can just take it with you, and you don't have to worry about what am I going to have for breakfast. Not only is juice for the morning or if you're trying to detox, but it's a great replacement for anything you drink besides water. So if you're drinking sodas, if you're drinking store-bought fruit juices and teas or anything else, juice is an awesome alternative. You're not only going to feel good, but you're going to look great as well. It's great for your digestion, for your skin, and all.
Yeah, it is. And I have tried, various ones of your juices, and it's true. And when I work out in the morning, I don't want to eat. Maybe a banana or an apple, maybe. But when I was drinking your juice during my workout, it was just enough energy and nutrition to get me through the workout. And then when I got home, I would eat a bigger breakfast. So I can definitely attest that the Divine Nectar juices are just fabulous. And you also
Thanks.
mentioned a little bit, yeah, they taste so good. And you talked a little bit about you called it SRT, but I think it's soft stretch release training. Can you tell us a little
Yeah,
bit what
so
that
soft
training is?
stretch release therapy is basically working with the neurological system as well as the fascial tissue. And basically, it's similar to a deep tissue massage, but much more relaxing. And we're able to push past that deep layer and really get in and work out some of those knots. So, versus a deep tissue massage where it is applied pressure and force, this is much more soothing. So, your body releases and allows me to work out the knots versus the deep tissue where immediately it's going to come back where you allowed me to do it. So it is an extended release.
No, it's excellent. I've seen it in the gym. I've seen it happening in the gym. And as we know it's wonderful to work out in the sense of with weights and all of that, but stretching is just as important, probably more so because if you don't stretch, your muscles will be screaming. So, Jade, you are such a well-rounded businesswoman person. I enjoy your company so much. And thank you for being a guest. And like you mentioned, I have an upcoming workshop, Women, Money, and Relationships. And in that workshop, we talk about what are women's money stories? What's going on in their heads right now? Are you talking about money with the people in your lives? Is the story you're telling yourself serving you or not? And so I want to get a little bit into your money story and how does being a young entrepreneur in Miami, Florida, in this 2023 economy, how does that look? So the first question, and you told us a little bit about your business. So the first question I have for you is, have you had any financial challenges in starting? You're a young woman, accomplished, but a young woman. Have you had any financial challenges in starting your business?
So initially, when I started my business, I found something that I had a lot of what I already needed. So a juicer was something I already owned. I juiced for many years for personal reasons. So it was easy to jump in the market from that sense. From there, one of my biggest expenses was going to be produce, which is relatively cheap. So I found that it was a good break even point. So this was an awesome introduction into business where I didn't have to invest a lot of my personal funds and able to see a return initially. Not only was there a small investment, but as I began to grow, I received a lot of support from the community, not necessarily financially, but ability to be out and in the faces of everybody. As long as I was able to get somebody a sample of Devine Nectar, then they were hooked.
Yeah,
So
true.
really from there, my environment has been my biggest support system. Although as I've grown and wanted to get a new juicer, create just different streams of revenue for myself and Devine Nectar, and allowing myself to not only make juice but plan events and coordinate different networking opportunities, I find myself looking for more funding. So in that case, I have reached out to vendors, invited them into my space so I'm able to charge a vending fee. And then that can go into the event as well as become revenue for myself. So there's always different ways to, you know, stretch a penny
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
to find the money where it is. But definitely utilizing all the resources available has been one of my biggest um,
It's like an asset. It's an
assets.
asset. It's an
Asset. Yes,
asset.
one of my
It
biggest
is.
assets. Absolutely.
And one of the things that I liked, I believe in multiple streams of income. And
Yes.
sometimes we get fixated on a dream that we have and we want this dream to look this way. And being, uh, I was a special agent with the Department of Justice for many years. But then when I retired, I went from being a salaried employee to now I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a business owner. And yes, we have ideas of what we want our company to look like and we want our dreams to look like. But I know for me and I think for you is what you're saying, you have to be open to the flow of it and see what other ways can I invite revenue in? How do I make contacts? And you don't want to hold too tight onto a fixed idea of what you think your business is going to be. And that's, I think, an asset also to be open and to welcome multiple streams of income.
Absolutely. Multiple streams of income has been one of my greatest assets. Like I said, when I started, I train, I do SRT, I have fresh pressed juice, I babysit, I dog walk. Like the world
Yeah.
is my oyster. And I really love putting myself out there because a lot of these things are fun for me and they help me make that next connection of you never know who you're going to meet that is
100.
interested in what I'm doing in planning events. If they want me to plan one of their events, if they want me to get vendors for the event that they have coming up, or if they want to get juice catered for their brunch or birthday party. So there's opportunity in everything that you do, and just being open to it is one of the biggest things for me.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. And I think so much of life and business is state of mind, putting yourself out there, putting yourself where you're going to have opportunity. And even though in this world of Zoom, we do a lot of things from behind a computer, if you, in my opinion, if you really want to grow your business, you have to get out there. And people still want to see people in person, get to know a little bit about you. Who are you? Do they believe in you and your product? And I love what you're saying, because I think having these multiple streams of income and then finding, like you said, you never know who you're going to meet. Sometimes I will get a reference three people back and I mean, how did you hear about me? Well, so and so told me that they know someone who used you. So you're just constantly working your business in an authentic way. And I liked what you said about it's fun because when you're doing what you love and what you're good at, it's not really, I mean, it is work because it's what we do to make a living, but it's not work in the sense of, oh, I'm dreading going to work today. So I loved that you said that and talked about that.
Absolutely. Yes, fun is the biggest thing for me. And as long as I'm able to find some joy in the experience, to put myself out there, to elevate to the next level, to learn something new, then that's exactly where I should be.
Yeah, I agree. And also this idea of there's joy in the journey, right? Like you don't always get exactly what you want immediately, but it's a process and it's finding joy in the journey. And I noticed that with you immediately, like your level of joy. And it shows when you train, it shows when you're talking about your juices, if you're doing an event. So that's a huge asset to bring to the table. And one of the things in this in my women, money, and relationships workshop, we talk about how comfortable are you talking to the people in your life about money matters when it comes up and it needs to be talked to. Is that something you're comfortable with or not?
Absolutely. And I feel like as I've come into more of my roles and solidified my positions in society and been able to generate revenue and see a profitable turn, I am much more comfortable talking about
Mhm.
money, but not only with those things in mind, but if you don't talk about it, then you'll never have an opportunity to grow because somebody else can have a great
Right.
technique, or you even told me so much about creating a budget and why it's important. And if you just are aimlessly spending and you don't know what your budget is, then you can't ever truly be saving money and looking forward to the future. So being vulnerable to have those conversations is what is going to in return fill your pockets, because then you're going to learn something new and get a new opportunity, and it'll just come back tenfold every time.
Yeah, I agree. And also, there's this thing, especially, women, our and you're a lot younger than me, but our financial rights as women, really, it wasn't until like the 1970s where we were actually getting the ability to have our own credit, the ability to have our own credit cards. And so, in the big scheme of time, it's not the distant past that we started getting our rights. It's not that long ago. So, as a woman, I feel very strongly about we need to claim our seat at the table. We need to talk about it because and the guys are talking about it. And I worked with men my entire career. I love the guys, but the guys aren't afraid to talk about money. They're not afraid to negotiate a salary or to claim their worth. And I think it's something, and I'm as a young woman, I want your perspective on it. I think it's something women have had to work maybe a little bit harder at, but now it seems we're getting more comfortable with being able to say, this is my value, this is my worth. How do you feel about that?
Absolutely. I not even 20 minutes before we jumped on this call, I was talking to my friend about some upcoming opportunities and the rates that they were offering. And I said, that's not going to work. I've been in the events industry.
Yeah.
I studied resort and hospitality management with a concentration in events. I've been planning events in Miami for over 2 years. And I'm not going to accept a salary that's way beneath me because I bring a lot of value to the table. I have a lot of connections, and I've always pride myself on my work and getting the job done. So if there's a number in your head that you want, you should ask for it. And if
Right.
they're not willing to give it to you, there's somebody else that will, or you create your own platform and you charge that price yourself.
Right. And I think that is something that women still struggle with a little bit. And part of what I teach in this workshop is claim your worth. It money is not taboo. Money is not dirty. It's not something we shouldn't be talking. It's absolutely something we need to be talking about because money is the currency of the world. I mean, it's power, it's freedom, it's choice. And so I love that you say that. And I hope, my hope is that the younger generation of women coming up now that are young adults, that will claim this and not be afraid to say, I know my value. And the more we do this as gender, the more our value is known, is appreciated, and will be met. So kudos to you. I love hearing that. That makes me very happy. And so what about if you're in like a personal relationship? How do you feel about that? Is there any pushback on speaking about money, whether it's a family member, a good friend, you're out to dinner with girlfriends for, happy hour? How do you feel about that, those money conversations?
So to start off, you definitely gave me a huge piece of advice a couple months back, but you were like, when I go out with my friends, we set a precedent before the night. It depends on where we're going to go. And we're saying, all right, are we having one or two drinks here? Are we going to do cocktails? Are we going to share? Are we all trying to order our own meal? are we going for the long haul? So really setting the tone for the evening and saying, this is what I intend to spend, this is what I'm comfortable with. And there's generosity in the group as well. And people can say, I'm going to get dinner tonight. And
Yeah.
that's totally
Yeah.
cool. But allowing that space to welcome that conversation and giving people the opportunity to do such. But you never want to put yourself nor your peers in a position where they're overspending or they're uncomfortable or that is just way out of their budget, but they still want to be included and join in for the evening. And you have options. You can eat dinner before you go, and then you go and you share something, or you go and you have one drink, or you go and you don't have anything at all. And you say, I'm watching my budget, but I do want to come and enjoy the evening with you guys. And to have the courage to
Hmm.
say that is so powerful. It's
Yeah.
so powerful.
It is. It's so powerful and it's so freeing because I'm going to say, my friends and I are comfortable with this because we've been doing it for a while now. But sometimes it just takes the first person. Like probably everybody in the group or most of the people in the group are thinking that, but nobody wants to say it. And then when somebody says it, it's just like, oh, okay,
Ah,
yeah, let's just
yes.
all split. Or can we get, and sometimes it'll be like, can we just all get separate checks? Sure. But if nobody brings that up, then the bill comes at the end of the night, it sits in the table, and either somebody's doing crazy math or everybody splits it. And then that's not fair for the people that barely had anything. And I say, never let money come between friends. Like it's just work
Absolutely.
it out, have the conversation, be comfortable with being a little uncomfortable because then that uncomfortableness becomes it's normal and you're not uncomfortable anymore. So I love that you said that, and I'm glad that my words resonated with you.
They
And
really, really do. And there's also a lot available now. Like I've been taking a lot of group trips, or if you're going out to dinners in large groups, there's this app called Splitwise. And so, say it's a whole weekend, you input your receipts and you say who was involved in each transaction, and then it divvies it up by the end. And then it even makes it so simple that if a couple of different people paid, then you only have to end up paying one person. And so, these are tools that we should be utilizing. And it's like,
absolutely.
oh, we're going to say we're going to use it and then we don't really do it. It's going to make your life so much easier. You're not going to have to be on the calculator.
Mhm.
That's exactly what it's there for. So, really taking advantage of the tools that are around, using your voice and embracing yourself and enjoying the experience.
Yeah, enjoying the experience. And it's funny you brought up split rides because a friend of mine just did a trip to New York City with like, I think 5 or 6 women. And she's like, oh my goodness, we use Splitwise. It was so easy because anybody could be like, oh, I'll just pick up this dinner. And that way it's one person using their credit card per transaction or their cash, however they want to pay. And then at the end, everybody gets a bill about who owes who money. And it's genius. Splitwise is that app. And I'm not, I gain nothing from promoting it. I just know that it's an awesome app. And I'm going on a girls trip this fall. There's going to be 9 of us. We're definitely using Splitwise because it gets too crazy. Like who paid for this? And this is brilliant. I wish I had thought of that app. But it's a great idea. And the other thing I want to say about you, I have one final question. But before that final question, I wanted to say one of the things that I love about you, Jade, and is your mindset. Like, I want you to talk a little bit about that. I know what I do in the morning to get in my zone and sometimes it's coming to one of your classes. But what I do to get in the zone so that my day goes in the direction I want it to go to. Tell me what you do to get into that mindset that you seem to have every time I see you.
Yeah, I feel like that for me, a lot of times it happens way before the week even starts. Having a consistent calendar, a schedule that I can rely on. I not only have a paper copy, it's literally sitting right here in my agenda that I live by, but I also see the value in having it digitally so it's accessible anywhere. So I've really poured into applying my paper calendar to a digital calendar. And through Google, I set myself timers. And people might think I'm crazy because my phone goes off like 50 billion times a day. But one is saying, okay, you have an event coming up in 2 weeks. You need to go do this in 2 hours, or this is happening next month. And so all of those things are set up so I have ease and they're reminders. And it's like, okay, what are the steps that I'm going to need to get done prior to that happening? And that reminder allows me the time to achieve that. So beyond my schedule, the day before, I always set myself up for success. I choose my clothes the evening before. I meal prep when I can, or I think about what are my options? What is available to me? What does my budget look like? Am I
Yeah.
willing to eat out tomorrow? Do I want to just grab a juice? Will I be home in a fashionable time that I can still make breakfast? Or because I still want to be comfortable. I don't ever want to put myself in a position where I'm like, I'm on the go all day. I didn't prepare food. Now
Yeah.
I am overspending because I have to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner out. So it's really being aware of what is on your agenda and planning accordingly. Preparation has always been one of my biggest keys. If I'm not prepared, it will show. And but as long as I am, then I show up, I'm happy, I'm able to pour into everybody, I'm able to pour into myself, and my cup is full.
Yes. Yes.
So when you step into the day ready to go, then that's when you can show up.
Yeah, I think that's such great advice. And I love what you said. When my cup is full, it pours over. And I think, sometimes, especially as women, sometimes we get this, I have to take care of this person and do this and do that. And okay, yes, we do have to serve, and I'm about service and helping others in our lives 100%. But first, you got to make sure your cup is full and that you're operating, because if you're not operating in your like prime area, then even if you are helping people or doing things for people, it's not at your best. And sometimes I think as women, we get caught up in this thing where like I come second. Not really. You come first. And when you come first, then you're able to show up better for everybody else that you want and need to show up for in your life. So I love that you said that, fill your cup first and then let it flow over to the others in your life. Brilliant. And
Thank you, Susan.
so I want to finish up with one kind of big general question. Because I talk a lot about financial freedom, and I have financial freedom right now. And for me, financial freedom isn't rich and, swimming in an excess of money. That's not financial freedom to me. Financial freedom to me is I get to choose my life on my terms because I have enough money, maybe more than enough money to do what I want, to do what I need, but I live within reason. I don't go crazy. And I live this beautiful, I'll say, enchanted life. But a lot of it's preparation and having started planning way ahead of time for the life I wanted later. So now I'm financially free. And again, I'm, much older than you, and you're on the path, and I already know you're on the path. So tell me, for someone that is on this beautiful path, this beautiful journey, what does it look like to you to be financially free?
Absolutely. Financial freedom to me, I feel like that it's definitely something I'm working towards. Right now, I'm definitely in a comfortable place. I pay all my bills way in advance, so I'm never feeling like I'm drowning. So at that point, I'm able to find safe space to save. Financial freedom looks like being able to indulge when I want to, but
Mhm.
also preparing for the future. And I know that there's a lot more for me to learn as far as investing and setting myself up. And I definitely can learn that from you. But I feel like I'm definitely on the right path. I have accounts and they're automatic, and then it
Mhm.
sends money to here and it sends money to there. And then I am doing a little bit of investing. And I'm not totally all in on it, but it's active and it's rolling. And so that's the first step, is just getting started
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
figuring it out as it goes. And, having a little money to play with in investments, and you're not afraid to lose it, because that's an investment. It's a risk.
Yep.
But it's all worth it in the end, because then you can end up having the sum of money, and then I'm able to take my vacations, I'm able to splurge on my dog, I'm able to treat my friends and my family to a nice dinner, whatever that might look like. But financial freedom is definitely something that is achievable, and it comes a lot with preparation, mindset, and working towards it, small steps, day by day.
100%. You could help me teach this course. But it's so true. It's preparation. It's taking the action, because I started my investing when I was 23. Did I know how to invest when I was 23? Not really, but I knew I had to get started. And so I got started, and then I learned more as I went. But a few things you said that are key is one, make it automated. I took it from my paycheck. Every paycheck, there was a certain amount of money coming out automatically. I didn't know what it felt like to live on that money, so I never missed it. And then when I got a raise, I added a little more. And then before I knew it, I was investing quite a lot of money in my future, which is one of the reasons I was able to leave the career I was in and start my own business. So it's preparation and the mindset. You have to believe in yourself. You have to believe. And when you do, you will meet people that also believe in themselves, and you form these collaborations. And how we met, I mean, a lot of, I think, how we met was our energy. Yes, we met because we were both at the gym, but I think a lot of it was our energies connected.
Absolutely. You are such a joy to be around. And we totally connected, and you brought me to your garden and you shared your tips. And I love the space that you create.
Thank you
And
very
the
much.
work that you're doing is amazing. And it's really, really important. And for women to feel comfortable having these conversations and having the space that we can do this, and then collectively doing it together to,
Mhm.
like you said, raise that bar.
Yeah, 100%. I think we'll end it on that note. We want to raise the bar for women because we deserve it. We deserve to rock money. Women are compassionate, we're fierce, we're strong, we're intelligent. We bring so much to the table, but we have to be sitting at the table to bring it to the table. So, Jade, thank you so much. I love your energy. I love what you're doing. You've helped me in the physical fitness world, highly motivating. So, definitely check out Jade Devine and Devine Nectars, and Jade's at Primal Fit now. I don't know if there are you working at any other gyms besides Primal Fit?
I'm definitely available for personal sessions. SRT is available both at Primal Fit, and we could do it in home. There's a couple other locations that I am in works with, but definitely keep the flow of communication open.
Yeah.
You can find me on Instagram at Devine Nectar underscore, and Devine is actually my middle name, and it is spelled Devine, and then Nectar Nectar underscore. So that's for Instagram. And we'll stay connected. I look forward to continuing working with you and for all these amazing women to join this workshop, because it's life changing and it's really important work.
Thank you so much. So yes, look out for Women, Money and Women, Money and Relationships, Money Maestra. You can register now, and you can follow me Facebook and Instagram at Money Maestra.